Hello, everybody. Are you coming in? Okay. I think I see that some people are watching. Let's see. Aha! Hi, Kate! I see you. Aw, thank you. Yay! Hi, Sarah. If you're coming in now, please comment, say hi, so I know you're there. Trying to figure out how some of this works, so bear with me. Oh, Noah and Melissa, hi, thank you guys for coming. Okay, while we're waiting for some people to get in here, can somebody please tell me if this sign behind me, if you can read it or if it's backwards? Like, does it look like it's backwards to you, or is it normal? Oh, thanks, Sarah. I will tell you a fun fact about these things right here, which are being... It's backwards! Oh, I knew it. I thought it would be backwards, and Noah said it wouldn't be, so... Oh well. It says, welcome to the launch party, in case you can't read it. Anyways, these are leftover birthday party decorations, so they are being, oh, you can still read it, okay, good. So, they are being repurposed and reused, so I hope you like them. I'm so sad about my sign. I knew when I was putting it up, I was like, it's gonna come up backwards, but oh well, everybody will get a kick out of it, I'm sure. So I'm gonna give this just another minute before we officially get going. If you're just getting on now, please comment and say, yeah, please comment and say hi. Yeah, what do you know? That's a great question. Aw, hi, Mrs. Reed. I'm glad you're on. I see that some people are still popping on, so I'm gonna give it another minute. Okay. Hi, everybody! Check out my sign. It's backwards. I've already been told, but I hope you like it. Hi, everybody. If you're just logging on now, please comment and say hi so I know you're here. Oh, hi, Angela. I'm missing it. Oh, hi, Mommy Miranda. That's my mother-in-law. Hi, Aunt Connie. Oh, Ashley's on too. Hi, guys. Come on in. I'm gonna get started here in just a minute, so come on in. For those of you just getting on now, I do know the sign is backwards. Oh well. It will add some character to my my background here. All right. So I am going to ask everybody to bear with me. I have literally never done a Facebook Live before, so this is going to be interesting. But I'm seeing everyone's comments, so this is good so far. So I think we're set. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So welcome everybody to the launch party. I'm going to explain to you what we're doing, and we're going to get into it. So I have never done a launch party before. Hi, Brittany. Did I miss somebody there? No. Okay. Hi, Brittany. Welcome. Okay. Sorry, guys. The comments are going to distract me, but this is good. If you're just coming in, please comment. So I have already actually 3 books that are already out and published, and I have a 4th one on the way. But I have actually never done a launch party before. I've never done really a launch at all. So you guys are seeing it for the first time, and I'll explain why here in a second. But this is all I wrote and published 3 books, and I did it really quietly, and I didn't really make a lot of fanfare about putting them out there. So I decided. so I decided. I really had kind of a sit down with myself, you could say, back in March, April, and I really kind of looked at my books and my series, and I made some tough decisions. And the biggest decision was that I actually changed the reading order of my books. So since I changed, which I'll explain to you why I did that, but since I changed the reading order, and also the fact that I had never done a launch before, it kind of led me to the decision to do a relaunch. And this was a way to kind of show that I had changed the order and there were some changes to it, but also just to say, hey, I did actually write some books, but I never really talked about it in before now. So that was kind of my reason for this. So this is flagship launch party for me. Never done this before, so really excited. So thank you guys all for coming. And really quick, I'm going to explain why I changed the reading order of my books. Why did I ever do that? Because that sounds crazy. So I'm just going to show you guys. This is the first book that I ever wrote. It's really thin, as you can see. It's pretty small. But this book I wrote back in, I published it in 2015. Took me a couple of years to write it, and when I first wrote the draft of this book / this series, I wrote this massive manuscript that was like kind of combined like 3 books into one. And after I was just so excited that I had written it, and it was all great. And after I had written it, I just was like, this is too much into one book. So I realized that I kind of needed to trim it down, and I needed to sort of go back in the timeline of my story, which is where this book came in. So this was the first book that I had actually completed. But this book, although I love it and is very, very dear to my heart, it takes place 12 years earlier in the timeline of my story. So this book came out first, and then this book came out second, and there's 12 years between them. This book is also from a different character's point of view, whereas this book and all the subsequent ones are from my main character here, Camilla. So when I came out with this book, I had originally thought that this book would be a prequel. So, because that makes sense. It takes place 12 years early, it's from a different character's point of view, so I thought it would be a prequel to my series. And when I talked to my editor at the time, when I talked to her about it, she said, no, this is the first book, that you're coming out with. It's the first book in your series, so of course it would be the first, it would be book 1, right? So I just went with, I didn't know any better, I went with what she said, and I had originally called this book 1, this became book 2, and then the next one became book 3. And after some thought and some soul searching, I really had always wanted to make this the prequel, because that's really what it is. It really is just a prequel. So back in April, I began the process of changing, updating the covers, and re-uploading the manuscripts and things like that to reflect that. So this is now officially, as you can see, the prequel to the series, and this is book 1. And really what that means is just that you don't have to have read this book to understand the series, which is another good indication that it's a prequel versus a book 1 in a series. So for all of you guys who are not writers, which I think is most of you, you're like, who cares, what does this matter? But this was a pretty big deal for me and for my books, because I had to kind of rearrange things, and I had to say, okay, this book is really just a companion book to the series, and this is really where the story starts. You can also see it's an official full-length novel. Hi, Sarah! Other Sarah, thanks for coming in. So that was really kind of what started to precipitate this process of relaunching and republishing these books. So this book has, for the past several years, been considered book 2 in the series, and it is now book 1, and you don't have to have read this one to get into the series. So I'm telling people now, you start with this book. This is actually really where you want to start reading the series, and you can read this at any time. So does that make sense? That was my big explanation as to why I'm doing this today, why I'm relaunching, why I'm making a big deal about this. This book was originally, I originally published this back in 2016, so this actually has been out for a number of years, but what I did is I refreshed the manuscript, I refreshed the covers. I also made this book, which is now available on Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and iBooks, as well as Amazon. It's been on Amazon, but it's now available on all those retailers. And yeah, thank you for saying it makes sense, because I struggled with this for a long time. Did a lot of asking people what they thought. So that is the scoop. So that is why we are here today. We are here to celebrate relaunch of this. This is now officially book 1 in this series. And this was tough too, because I had to basically say, you know, I have a brand new book coming out here in September. And originally that was going to be book 4 in the series, but it's now technically book 3, because this is 1, and then there's 2, and then there's 3 coming out, and then this is just kind of an extra little piece. So anyways, that is the scoop. I'm going to be doing a giveaway today. So the way I'm going to be doing the giveaway basically is if you just make a comment here in the video, I will put all your names into a hat and I'll do a random drawing, and what you will get is this book right here, a signed copy right here, as you can see. So please, if you're watching, I see that a few more people have been trying to get in or have been getting in. If you're in, go ahead and comment. You won't be in for the giveaway unless you comment, so just say hi, and then I'll know you're here, and I will put your name in a hat and announce who's winning the copy of this book. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to be doing sorry, I'm trying to remember. I'm going to be doing a Q&A session here in just a minute. So please think of some questions for me. I will try and answer them right on the spot. Questions about the book, questions about the series, questions about me, author, writing process, whatever you want. Go ahead and hit me with some questions here in a minute. I think that was all that I needed to say. Oh, I know. This is a big thing. So today is launch day. So this book is now, for the first time ever, available on Kobo, Barnes & Nobles, and iBooks. It is also available on Amazon as well. So since this is launch day, big thing to do right now, if you can do it. Oh, hi, Holly. Holly's here. If you can do this, if you have not bought this book yet, even just the Kindle version is only 99 cents on Amazon today. So go buy it right now, even while we're in this session, and what will happen is it'll push my rank up in Amazon, which will push me into bestseller rank, which causes more sales. So if you haven't bought it yet, if you've already bought it, thank you so much. I know many of you have, so I really appreciate that. If you haven't bought it yet and you think you're going to go buy it, go do that now during the launch party, because if we get as many sales as possible right here during this time, it kind of pushes me in. So I see that Ann Connie has asked a question, so I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to jump into the Q&A session. And so if you've got Q's, put them, Q's being questions in case you don't know. If you have questions, go ahead and pop them in the comments section. And I'm going to go ahead and start with, I'm calling her Ann Connie, she's Connie. I'm going to ask, go to her question here. What was the inspiration for the series? Great question. So, good question, Kate. I'll get to that. So inspiration for the series. So, goodness, I started writing, like I said, back, I really didn't, no, scratch that. Let me start over. I had an idea for this story, I should say, way back, probably high school, even before that. Just this story in my head I'd always kind of had going along, and it had always been in the back of my head, and never wrote anything down, never did anything like that. By the way, I see that a few more people are logging in, so welcome if you're just popping on right now. Make sure you comment and say hi in the comments. And then it wasn't until I went to college and I took a minor in English, and I was like, oh, this will be a really easy minor, I'm going to do that. And I ended up taking a 1 or 2, I can't remember, creative writing classes in college. Just, you know, they were easy pass classes, and I loved it. But you know what? Not a single story that I wrote in that class was this, even though this was the story I had in my head, but I didn't write it down. I don't know why, I just didn't. It just was always in my head. It was my own thoughts and things that I did. So it was not until 2012, so a few years after college, I found out about a website / program, whatever you want to call it, called NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. That's what that stands for. And if I have any writers here listening today, you're going to probably know what that is. It's pretty popular in the writer world. But essentially what you do is you write 50,000 words in the month of November. So you basically write, and they consider 50,000 words the minimum length of a novel. So you write an entire novel in the month of November, and I thought that that was really cool. So I found it, I literally think it was like October 31st, and I decided to do the challenge the next day. And yeah, Kate's gonna know. She's, I'm sure, done it. So I went ahead and did it, and I wrote down this story. And that's where, when I said at the beginning of this video, I said that I wrote down what was basically like 3 books in one. That's what I did that in 2012. I just wrote down everything that was inside my head. I just like spewed it out, and it came out as like 5 different story plots. And but you know what? It felt great. I wrote it all down, and I got done with NaNoWriMo. I finished it. I hit the 50,000 words. And I was like, oh, that was really cool. That was fun. I liked that. And then I kind of set it aside, and I didn't think much of it immediately after that. But then I kind of kept going back to the story, and I wanted to keep writing it, and I kept going. And really, as they say, the rest is history. And I never have stopped since then. And then it was pretty shortly after that that I realized that I wanted to do writing like as a living, essentially, or I wanted to do it as a big part of my life. So that was a really big, long explanation of telling you what my inspiration was. My inspiration was, this is a story that I have had in my head my entire life, and it just finally got a chance to come out. All right, next question is from Ashley. What started your love of writing? I think just the playfulness of being able to have a story in your head. Does that make sense? So as a kid, you know, you always dream up scenarios and things, and for me, that just never ended. I just kept thinking up those stories in my head, and and then when I realized I could write them down and make them come to life in that way, that kind of developed my love of writing. So the next question is from Kate, and she asks, am I a plotter or a pantser? And for the non-writers out there, what that means is plotters are people that plot out their entire story beforehand and then write off of their plot, or their outline, if you will. Pantsers just sit down at the computer and just bang it out. And I tend to be more of a pantser. I do enjoy plotting, and I like to think I'm a really good plotter, but at the end of the day, I'm really a pantser. I can't know what's going to happen in my stories until I actually sit down and write them. So I would say I'm a pantser. Sarah asked, who's your favorite character? Ooh, well, I think I have to say that Camilla is my favorite because she is my main character. She is my protagonist. If I had to give a secondary, I would have to say Knox. I love Knox. This book is from Knox's perspective, which should show why, you know, that I love him. I really enjoy Knox and Camilla. I enjoy writing the most. So Camilla has to be number 1, but the second would be Knox. Kate asks, which character is most like you? Oh boy. Well, I put out a quiz last week, I guess it was, with which character from my book you are, and I actually came up, mine came up as Governor Leo, which he's the bad guy, in case you haven't read it yet. So that's what the quiz told me I was. I don't know if I'd agree with that or not. I probably would have to say I'm probably most like Knox, because I'm grumpy. That's my answer, and I'm gonna go with it. Maybe if you guys, those of you who are on, who know me really well, maybe you can comment on who you think I am most like. All right. Let's see here. Ashlyn asks, are there any dogs / other pets in the book / series? Yes, there are. There is a dog in, not this book, but the next one in the series. There is a dog in there. And then in the book that I am writing right now, my new book that's coming out in September, there is a cat in that book. So, yeah, I got a few pets in there. I'm a pet lover. In fact, the dedication in this book, I'll show you guys. Oh, it's going to be backwards, right? You can't read that. Anyways, the dedication to this book is to my cat. So, Ashlyn, that tells you that I love cats and I love pets. All right, Kate asks, how do you name your characters? I always love naming mine, and I'm curious how other authors choose. Well, I would say naming my characters is a combination of keeping a list of names that I enjoy, but then I do a lot of, I go to those name generators online and I punch in, you know, I hit the generate button and see what it spits out, and then whichever ones I like I go with. So that's kind of how I do it. Let's see here. Sorry guys, I'm catching up on comments. Melissa asks, how long does it take for you to think of a plot for a book? That is a really hard question to answer. A lifetime, I guess, because everything I've written has been in my head for years and years. I have written a few little like short stories that I just kind of came up with on the fly and wrote, and I would say if I had to start from scratch with a short story, it would probably take me like a month or something like that, which is about the amount of time if I rough drafted a book that it would take me. So that's my answer. Oh, Aunt Janie is on. Hi, I'm just seeing that now. Okay, let me see. There's a long comment here. Noah asks, have you drawn inspiration from similar titles in your genre, such as Hunger Games, Divergent series? How are you differentiating to stand out? Wow, that is a very complex question. Thank you. I love Hunger Games and I love Divergent, except that I don't care for the last book in the Divergent series, so I'm just putting that out there. But yeah, obviously I have drawn inspiration from those books and from others in my genre. I'm a big YA fantasy fan, obviously, so I draw a lot of inspiration from those other books. How are you differentiating to stand out? Man, that's a tough question. I don't know. Camilla is better. She's cool. That's my answer. I'm going to go with that. All right. Catching up. Oh, Bree is on. Hi, Bree. Let's see here. Sarah, are you saying that I'm like Knox's sister, Rebecca? Is that what you're saying? You're going to have to answer that. Oh, boy. Oh, Becca's on. Hi, Becca. Okay. How many more books will be in the series is asked by Sarah. Camilla's better, yeah. Sarah is asking how many. There are a total of 7 books in the series. So I have the 4th one in the series coming out here in September. So I've got 3 more to go, 3 more to write. So it's a long way to go. Oh, Uncle Ted is on. Hi. Thanks for coming. Kate says Camilla is better, which she's quoting me, and that was my answer, and I'm sticking to it. All right. Okay, I'm caught up on comments. Any other questions before I move on from our Q&A session? I'm going to give it a minute, see if anybody can hit me. Oh, here we go. Oh boy, this is a long one. What is your writing process in terms of how you set up your area at a desk, laptop, candles burning, cup of coffee? Oh, thank you for reminding me. I have a cup of tea with me today, and I haven't even taken a sip yet. So my writing area, honestly, and I've had this conversation with other writers, I write best in bed. So I write best when I can sit up and put my back up against the wall, and I sit cross-legged and I set my laptop right on my legs, and that is honestly where I get the most writing done. I'll write on the couch, I'll write on the table, I will write lots and lots of different places, but my best getting words in is going to be actually in my bed. And Kate is a writer, in case you guys haven't figured that out yet. Oh, and I do generally have a cup of coffee with me, but more than that, I have to have something to snack on while I'm writing. So pretzels, goldfish, whatever, I have to have something to snack on. So that's my thing. So Kate, maybe you can comment and say how you write, but I write in bed. That's how I do it. Ashley is asking, oh boy, what is this? Are your characters modeled by real life people in your life? Yes, they are. Camilla is definitely modeled after somebody, but I don't know if I can tell you guys that. I will say this. Those of you who know me, who are close to me, you might be able to figure out, maybe you could guess who I get the inspiration from Camilla. Everybody else is not, I don't think, is really modeled from a specific person. Eve is modeled after, oh my word, why can't I think? Those of you who are Office fans, I modeled Eve after Angela from The Office. So there you go. That's where I got her from. But everybody else is just kind of made up in my head. Love the mug. Yes, thank you. Let's see. Kate says snacking is great. She usually has tea as well. Yeah, Ashley, yes, you had some weird autocorrects going on there. Let's see here. Okay, last call. Any more questions before we move on? And those of you who are just logging in or didn't hear me say, I am doing a giveaway of this book. So all you have to do is comment here. If you're on, just say comment and say hi, or you can say anything you want. And if you comment, I will put your name in a hat and I will randomly draw somebody, and you will get a copy of this signed copy of my book. Also, a reminder, if you're here today, if you have not bought this book yet, I'm trying to push as many sales during the launch party here because that pushes me into the bestseller rank. So if you have not bought a copy yet and you think you're going to, please go buy it now. And yes, it's really weird for me to ask you to do that, but it is a big help. The Kindle version of this is only 99 cents on Amazon right now. So would love it if you did that, if you're planning on buying it and you haven't yet. I know a lot of you already have. So you have to tell us who Camilla is modeled after. Actually, no, I don't have to tell you. You can figure it out. So maybe if you guess it correctly, I will tell you if you're right. We'll do it that way. All right. No more questions. So I think I'm gonna go on, move on. What do I have to do next? Yeah, we already pretty much talked about all of this. So I think I'm gonna move forward and, oh, here we go. We just got another question come in. How many, this is from Angela. How many edits do you have to go through before you're happy with your book? Oh boy. A lot. Oof, I don't even know if I could put a number on it. Probably like 10. I mean, a lot. I do probably, maybe not 10. 10 might be a little high. I do probably like 4 edits myself, and then it goes to an editor and it gets looked at again, and then usually there's a couple more rounds of edits after it comes back from the editor. And it depends on the book too. This one wasn't too bad. The next one in the series, oh man, I had a really tough time with that book. It went through a lot of edits. So kind of depends on the book too. All right, where were we? Ashley is saying, okay, one hint, family or friend. It is family. So the person is family. Talking about who I get some of the character traits. I don't know that I would say Camilla is modeled after this person, but some of the character traits come from this person. I'll put it that way, and it is a family member. Do you ever talk, okay, this question is from Aunt Janie. She says, do you ever talk to anybody and think I should add this conversation to my book? Oh, like, do I ever have a conversation and think I should put it in a book? Yeah, all the time. I mean, they actually say, for writers, and I think this is true for, like, if you're in, like, TV or, you know, film or whatever, go sit in a coffee shop and listen to people talk and listen to actual dialogue, and it's very interesting. And I have done that many a time. You can't take necessarily like word for word from the dialogue that you hear in a coffee shop, but it really gives you good inspiration of how people actually talk to each other. So yeah, absolutely, for sure. Okay, Sarah is giving me a mad face, and I'm going to carry on. Let's see here. Sarah, are you asking if Camilla is modeled after Grammy or Grandma? If that's what you're asking, then no, definitely not. Although Grandma is close, I will say that. Okay, this is the official last call for questions. I am going to read. Next thing I'm going to do is read an excerpt from this book. It's not very long, but it is my favorite part. So I'm gonna wait. Ashley's asking if it's her. No, it is not you. So no, sorry. If you have not read this book yet, listening to my excerpt right now is not really a spoiler, so don't worry about that. What I'm gonna read here is part of what is like basically one of my favorite parts of this book. Oh, Rachel just logged in. Hi, Rachel. Yeah, so this is one of my favorite parts from this book. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's not very long, but I'm gonna go ahead and read an excerpt from The Sacrifice of One. Go ahead, sit back, relax, listen to my soothing voice as I read to you. And as you can see, I'm about 3/4 of the way through the book, so if you're working through it now, that's where I am. Okay. For a moment, I stare into the vast justice hall, imagining the terror that many a prisoner has felt while standing at this vantage point. Governor Leo's voice is only a mumble from this distance. I shake the barred door, thinking I can run from here to the tunnel where Johnny and I first came through. But it's locked. Of course it's locked. I reach for the keys, but I've left the keys back at Tor's cell. Panic ripples up my back. The soldier turns around to start his march in my direction. Our eyes lock and I break into a run only a moment before he does. I pass cell after cell, leaving the main corridor and continuing into another tunnel without cells. The damp air whips past my warm cheeks, and even my feet can feel the cold permeating up through the ground. I'm moving farther and farther away from Johnny. The wall curves ever so slightly as I follow along the tunnel. Where is this taking me? I come to a stop at a wall with 4 archways. I'm breathing heavily and my lungs sting with the rank air. I look behind me. There is nowhere else to go. It's like a game, I realize. I must pick one of these 4 archways or stand here and be arrested, doomed to rot in one of these cells along with Tor. But I can't do that. I have to rescue myself before I can rescue Tor. The shadow of my pursuer flashes on the wall. I spring into the tunnel on the far left. The first torch I come to, I steal from its perch on the wall. The floor is stone now, and for a moment I run in total silence. It's as if I've been buried in the deepest hole. It's quiet, peaceful even, but I'll surely die if I stay here. Then I hear the deep, sarcastic trilling of Governor Leo's voice. It booms through the tunnel, engulfing my head with its vibrations. A soft light glows in the distance. I chase it with all the energy left in my legs. The light grows bigger. I slow slightly, still hearing the distant thumping of my pursuer's boots. I step to the edge of the tunnel. It's another archway. I'm bathed in warm light as I stand on the Justice Hall floor. I've followed a tunnel that has led me to an archway right next to the platform where Governor Leo and the 7 sit. I stare upward. Governor Leo's dignitaries a head and shoulders length taller than me. The Warwick flag looms down on me, somehow seeming more enormous from this angle. No one notices me at first until my heavy breathing catches the ear of a woman who is acting as one of the 7 council members. Her voice cracks. She seems unsure of what to say about a loose prisoner. Then she screams, a high-pitched and terrified sound. My eyes dart across the Justice Hall to the tunnel that Johnny and I came through. He runs into the archway. I watch him as he looks behind himself. He's waiting for me, but I have no way of getting to him. There's a soldier standing in the middle of the courtroom and another one close to the gated door that leads into the cell tunnels. I hear my pursuer run the last few paces of the tunnel, his feet like a galloping horse that's riding right toward me. I scramble up the set of steps that leads to the platform. The soldier empties out of the tunnel and yells, "Stop her!" The governor cocks his head and collectively the gallery of council members gasp. I leap over the platform chairs until I'm all the way in the back. One of the council members holds a hand to his chest as if I might strike out and kill him without even touching him. "Can someone please take care of this?" Governor Leo shouts. The soldier follows me up the platform. He pushes members of the Seven out of the way and is met with more gasps and screams. I step back against the wall, feeling the magnitude of the room. I touch the Warbook flag. Its fibers are thick and rough. Knowing what it stands for kindles a fire in my belly 10 times brighter than the torch in my hand. I hold the flame to the black and red fabric. It catches quickly, like a field of dry wheat. I drop the torch, stumbling backward from the growing fire. The room erupts in panic. Governor Leo is ushered away by one of the soldiers, valiantly saving his governor. The 7 members of the council trip and tumble their way off the gallery pedestal. I'm mesmerized by the fire. It eats away at the flag. The Katali wall begins to crumble like sand. Hot embers pop from the flag and land at my feet, as if to warn me that soon it will engulf my body too. And that is the end of the excerpt that I picked out. This is, like I said, I would say this whole, the whole chapter, I only really read a couple of pages, but this whole chapter is probably my favorite chapter in this book. It shows sort of a change in Camilla. She starts out in this book as very timid and very kind of stuck in the rut of her daily life, and this is her first real, I don't know, I guess I could say against the law kind of thing that she does. So if you want to hear what happens next, you gotta go buy the book, right? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. I love this scene. This is also really the first scene where we see Camilla and Johnny interact. We haven't talked about Johnny yet today, but he's also another favorite character of mine. So I'm going to catch up. Sorry, guys. I'm going to catch up on these comments. There we go. Is it... Oh, Aunt Lynn, you're asking if Camilla is Aunt Lynn. No, but you're getting closer. Rachel says hi. Hi, Rachel. Emily says, hi, I've been here. Oh, that's okay. Thank you for getting on, Emily, and I'm glad you could listen to me read the excerpt. Oh, Grandma is watching too. Hi, Granny. Let's see. Ashley says, I want this available on audiobook. I would love this to be on audiobook as well. Audiobooks cost a lot of money to produce, so I'm working on it, but I'm not there yet. But yes, I would love to get these into audiobook. Let's see here. Aw, thank you. Thank you guys for listening. Ashley is asking if it is her mom. No, but you're closer. You're getting there. You guys are getting there. So I guess I will allow you to keep guessing. Sarah is guessing if it's Christina. No. If you're just logging on and you have no idea what we're talking about, they are trying to guess who the character of Camilla, some of her character traits, are modeled after. And they've all been wrong. Holly says, Ben and Steve are here too. Oh, hi, Ben and Steve. Thank you guys for logging in. One thing I realized that I haven't really done yet in this party, and we are wrapping it up here soon, so remember to comment so you can be in for the giveaway. I haven't really given a little blurb here about this book. I'm sort of taking for granted that you guys know what's going on, but I probably shouldn't. So I sort of alluded to it here in a second ago, but essentially Camilla starts off this book very... I guess timid would be the right word. She's essentially a slave, and she doesn't really know it, and she kind of has to go, and she has to work on this farm every day, and she's very, you know, just sort of stuck in this rut of what she does every day. And then at the opening of our story, there is a new guy who shows up working on the farm with her, and he slips a note into her hand at the end of the day that basically indicates that her brother, who does not live with her, he lives in the capital city, he's essentially in big trouble, and she soon finds out that he's being accused of murder and being hunted down, and of course she assumes that he's innocent, so she's going to go on a big task here to try and clear his name. And of course, as she does that, she's going to uncover layers and layers of issues beyond just her brother. I'll put it that way. So reminder to go, if you haven't yet, buy the Kindle version of this. It's only 99 cents. This book is now available today on Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and iBooks, also available on Amazon. And let me go back here. We still got some guesses. Aunt Cindy, Aunt Kathy. No, but you guys are closer. Getting there. Ashley needs to know. Well, guess the right answer, and then I will tell you. It's okay. Ashley is asking if it's her sister. No, it is not your sister. I don't know. I think they're having their own conversation there, so I'm going to ignore it. This is your last chance. I'm going to wrap up, so this is your last chance to guess, or you're not going to know, so I'm sorry, guys. Also, if you have any more questions for me, go ahead and hit them in the comments. I want to just take a minute to thank everybody who has helped me with this. Oh boy, we've got lots of more guesses coming in. Hold on, I will hold off on my thank you. Yes, yeah, Melissa's saying, yeah, she felt bad for Camilla in the faintly beating heart. And yes, she has kind of Camilla is in this book. She's just not the kind of the main character in that book. Aunt Connie is asking if it's Rachel. No, it's not. Uh-oh. Oh no, my comments are stuck. There we go. Oh, sorry guys. My comments are stuck. I can't scroll up. Oh, there, I think I got it. Oh, Noah asks a good question. What major actress would you like to play Camilla? I don't know. I actually have never thought about that. I always assumed that if it became a movie, I would play her. No, I'm teasing. I wouldn't. I would be the director, obviously. I don't know who I would want. I don't know what actress I would want. I'd have to think about that. If you have any guesses, pop in the comments and let me know. Ashley is asking if it's Sarah. No. Okay, guys. I'm going to... Rachel says she's missed it. Okay, if you don't know what's happening, they are trying to guess which family member of mine I got some of the character traits for Camilla from. So I'm going to give you guys a big hint. It is not a female. The member of our family that I got the character traits from is not a female, okay? So that's your only hint that you're getting. If you can't guess from there, then I'm sorry, you'll just never know. Melissa says, you could direct and play Camilla. That happens. Yeah, I could, but I don't think... Oh, Ashley got it! It's my dad. So I did that sort of subconsciously, but yes, and I don't know if Dad is actually listening in on this or not, but yeah, some of the pretty major character traits of Camilla I actually got from my dad. So Ashley guessed it. I think I need to get another prize for Ashley because she guessed this. I don't even know how we got off on this tangent, but yes, Camilla's probably the only really character I've gotten a lot of real life examples from. So, so good job, Ashley. Figured it out. Are you guys all relieved now? You know. And it wasn't a woman. That was the trick. So, anyways, all right, guys. I'm wrapping up. Thank you all. Sarah's asking if I told him. No, I don't think I ever told him. Sorry, if you're in my life, there might be a chance that you could end up in one of my books as a character. So, that's just a risk you take of knowing me. So I'm sorry, you might not know it. Okay. I'm sorry to stress you out, Ashley. Yeah. All right, guys. I really appreciate all of you coming in and to my launch party. This is the first launch party I've ever done. I made it virtual for obvious reasons because you can't really meet in person. So I really appreciate each of you coming. If you are watching right now and you haven't made a comment yet, go make a comment, because if you don't, then you will not be in the running to win a copy of this book. After the video ends, I'm going to put all your names into a hat and I will pick it, and then whoever wins, I will message you and get your address and I will mail this to you. It is a signed copy of my book. So go ahead and make a comment if you haven't commented yet. I just saw that Mom commented. He's not listening, but I'll tell him. Okay, thank you, Mom. So anyways, a big thank you to everybody who came to the launch party today. Big thank you to my street team people. I know some of you are on here, so I really appreciate you, everything you guys have done, reading and reviewing advanced copies of my books. Appreciate all my family that is here. You guys are great, and particularly my sister Sarah, who has been a huge help from the beginning. She was back with me in 2012 when I first started writing and has supported me. And big thank you to my husband Noah, who has supported me since the day we met, and also particularly these last, I would say, couple of months as I've pushed towards this launch. So I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate all of you guys that have logged in. Go buy the book. It's on Amazon. Kobo, iBooks, and Barnes & Nobles. All right, bye guys. Thanks for coming.